A city on the verge of greatness. A new type of city, based not on the man, but on the automobile. The car. The symbol of freedom and vitality. Where every man can own his own home, and have room to breathe, and not be overlooked by his neighbors. A city where a man's home is his castle. A quarter acre of the dream made possible by victory. A city of opportunists.
LA Noire is one of those games released during the 360 PS3 generation that for one reason or another I skipped. I don't recall the reason why, as that generation was where I said goodbye to my life and played video games pretty much non-stop. Fast forward a number of years, and lo and behold, Jared actually did something useful and bought me a copy of the game this past Christmas, and I thought it would be fun for me to let you all know my thoughts. I can safely say that if you didn't pick up LA Noire back in the day, you did not miss that much. After having completed the game in about 25 hours, I can say this is a classic case of an above average game. It's not that bad, but it's not great either. There are a few things it does well, and I'm going to start with those. The best aspect of LA Noire and what its whole marketing campaign was based on back in the day is its use of facial expressions. This is still to this day the best example of motion capture I've seen in a video game, especially when it comes to facial animations. The whole point of the game is to interact with people and ask them questions and figure out if they're telling the truth or not. And it works, although it is a bit too obvious when they're lying. The next thing I really appreciated was the game's setting. It takes place in 1947 Los Angeles. I don't know much about the 40s and 50s, scratch that. I don't know much about history in general, and it was very fun to experience Los Angeles during that era. While I have no way to know the accuracy of how LA is portrayed here, it was the main reason why I was drawn back to the game and kept wanting to play more. I love the old vehicles, the communication methods used, those police telephones scattered everywhere around the city are something I've seen before in an episode of Pawn Kings, but it was fun to see here and have that form of interactivity as well. It's also an eye-opener how women and people of different ethnicities were treated back in the day. Now let's shift into the stuff I didn't like as much, and this is a bigger list. First things first, there's no real incentive to be good at this game. Whether you put the right person in jail or an innocent bystander, the story will progress the same way. It even breaks the game in the beginning where you have to interrogate a guy to get his confession. If you fail, you simply go back in and keep asking the same questions, and the guy will ignore the fact that it's the fourth time you've spoken and will act like it was the first. This completely destroys the game's immersion. There are also sequences in the game where you need to tail someone on foot, and those are simply tedious. I've never found them enjoyable and couldn't find a proper way to follow someone without getting spotted. LA Noire is an open world game by design, but it shouldn't be. This is a classic example of why not all games should be open world, and there's nothing wrong with a linear video game. There's just no incentive to explore, and you'd rather just go on with the main game. In fact, the game lets you auto-drive, and because of that I didn't bother to drive unless I was forced. Solving cases also gets old quickly. You basically arrive to a location and search around for different clues. Once you've done this 10 times, you get the idea. The problem is that you'll do this probably near 100 times during the story. There's also many instances where the game will prompt you to pick up an item only for you to find out that it has nothing of value and simply put it back where you found it. It's not exactly exciting stuff to do in a video game. Lastly, while I did enjoy the overall story of LA Noire, I never connected with the main protagonist and found the character to be flawed to a point where I wished I wasn't playing as him. Now the game does solve some of those issues near the end of the game, but it still made the overall plot less interesting than it could have been. LA Noire might still be worth the experience if you're looking for a lengthy crime noir adventure on your Nintendo Switch. I just can't give it a stellar recommendation. However, even with all its flaws, it kept drawing back to it until I finished it. You might want to wait for a price drop, but LA Noire is still a good, if not great, addition to the Nintendo Switch library.
Stay down. LAPD, put down your weapons. The bank is surrounded. I'm offering you a chance.
Chance, copper. Closer. We'll cut deep.
Stay in cover. Get in cover.
We don't know how many are in there. Take it slow. Backup will be here soon. That's it? We got them all? I think we got them, Cole. Should be all clear.